We've taken a closer look at the new Apple MacBook Neo, specifically focusing on music production. What's special about it is that it has an iPhone processor inside, namely the A18 Pro. And how it performs for music production, well, we're going to take a closer look at that. I was quite surprised by how much you can actually do with it. We'll check that out now. Unfortunately, the new MacBook Neo doesn't have that many ports. 2 USB-C ports are available here, along with a headphone jack. On the other side, there's simply nothing at all, and that's unfortunately a bit of a disadvantage. Sure, we've somehow gotten used to having fewer ports, and having to carry dongles around with you all the time. However, these are really just USB-C ports, not Thunderbolt. That means an Apollo interface like the one behind me simply can't be operated with this. The speakers aren't that important since you'll likely have headphones or external speakers connected for music production anyway, but it's still worth mentioning that they're only on the side, nothing faces forward, and they're also quite thin. Here, have a listen. Well, you probably can't expect much more given the price and the size. To check the performance, I downloaded a project from the Hofer College online campus. In this case, it's something from the Open Project series. There we provide complete productions including all plugins for various DAWs. And I've tested Cubase and Logic, for example. This here is a production with nearly 60 tracks with really many plugins in it, some stock plugins, many Hofer plugins. Yeah, and if that runs well, then I'd say you can definitely mix projects of that size very well with it. This here is the project. As you can see, really a lot of tracks, drums, bass, vocals, everything you'd typically have in a project like this. There are quite a few plugins in here too, some stock plugins, but also many Hofer plugins. And the whole thing runs really smoothly, I must say. So I can also open up a plugin for a moment. No problem, the whole interface, it doesn't lag anywhere. I can also turn up the oversampling here as well. So really, for some reason, this CPU handles a relatively large project, even though it was actually originally built for an iPhone. It really manages to run this project here without any issues. I think it's partly due to the high single-core performance this computer has, which is even a bit higher than that of the first M1 MacBooks. And that's especially for such effect chains, particularly in mastering, where you have fewer plugins, but they require a lot of power. That usually only puts a load on a single core. And that's where you need that high single core performance, and it runs really well here. And it's worth noting, I'm also doing a screencast on the same device right now. That means it's also drawing a little bit of extra power. This here is the same project in Logic. It runs smoothly there as well, of course. Just as many tracks. Plugins here too, of course, no problem at all. I should mention, I'm running at 256 samples now. Earlier, with 128 samples of latency, there was a tiny bit of stuttering. It recovered after that, but I think that's where the system eventually reaches its limit. But it's also worth saying, for mixing, it's really not that big of a problem. I used to always mix at 1024 samples. You get a bit more headroom in terms of performance, and for mixing, that extra latency really isn't an issue. It's more when you're, producing, when you're recording things and need that low latency, that's where you might eventually hit the device's performance limits with very large projects. Now we're in FL Studio. I've loaded a demo project here. It just comes with FL Studio, so it only uses the stock plugins from FL Studio, but actually quite a lot of them, and also plenty of different samplers and synthesizers. And this project too makes use of all those tools. Yeah, it really runs absolutely without any problems. Everything is super smooth, no problem. Where you'll likely hit performance limits is with large orchestral libraries. So if I load a library here that's larger than the RAM, meaning 8 gigabytes, and you load several of those, you just reach the performance limits. The computer has to write so much to the swap and back and forth that then everything just becomes very slow. But for everything before that, as I said, mixing, producing, mastering, medium-sized projects, especially for beginners, I think this is an extremely good solution that Apple offers here, especially at this price point. I'd recommend, if you're interested in the device, get the 512 gigabyte version. Because 256, once you install a few plugins and maybe a sound library or two, you hit the limits too quickly, in my opinion. And it's definitely worth the extra cost. But what do you think? Do you have any more questions about the device? Should I try anything else out? Then feel free to write it in the comments, or are you thinking about upgrading? Maybe you have it already. Do you have any experience with it? Please let me know. I'll try to answer as quickly as possible. I'm definitely really amazed at how much it can do. And I'll probably really recommend it to a lot of people as an entry-level laptop now. If you want to learn more about audio engineering and music production, feel free to check out our website at hofer-college.com. There we have online courses for music production and audio engineering, mixing, mastering, recording. We cover all those subject areas. If you're interested in that, definitely check it out. See you then. Bye.